I was in high school, I ate lunch by myself for a year. I'm sure people here have done that. So I did that, and then I was playing video games, so I didn't know what else to like. I had to escape reality. I just decided to make music instead.
16 million. That's 4 times the population of Los Angeles, 8 times the population of Nebraska, and it is the amount of views that this video by Hobo Johnson currently has. Frank Lopes Jr., better known as his stage name Hobo Johnson, began making music in the year 2015, but it wasn't until March 2018 that things took off for him in a big way. Over the years, he had amassed a small, dedicated following, but after March 7th, 2018, his listenership went from this to this. Hobo Johnson and the Lovemakers entered a video contest for a chance to win a spot on NPR's Tiny Desk concert, which is exactly that. Your band performs live at a small desk. They recorded the video for Peach Scone in Frank's friend's backyard, uploaded it to YouTube, and within the 24 to 48 hour mark, it had received over 1 million views.
And just first day, dude, we released it. And we watched it the first day, and it was doing pretty well. And then the next day we woke up, it had like 1 million views.
So it's pretty clear how Hobo Johnson blew up. He and his friends made a video for a song that attracted a lot of views. But why he blew up from the Peach Scone video is unclear. Thanks to the internet and technology, making music is now so much more accessible for an individual than it was even 10 years ago. So something like this easily could have happened to literally any other young kid that makes music from home and entered a contest via YouTube. But it didn't. It happened to Frank and his friends, and that really intrigues me. Why did it blow up overnight? Was it that good? Was it that bad? Maybe it was the lyrics. Today we're going to take a look at why Hobo Johnson blew up overnight. We're going to inspect his music, specifically his song and video for Peach Scone. We're going to analyze his personality/character, and lastly try to predict where his career is headed. So this is going to sound really contradictory at first, but hear me out. Overnight success is a myth. It just doesn't happen. I totally get what people mean when they say that, as in an artist went from unknown to known in a short amount of time, but that usually carries the implication that they just started making music one day and were famous the next. And that's rarely, if ever, the case, whether it be music, sports, acting, etc. 99% of the time, it's the result of consistent hard work over a long period of time. But the public doesn't usually see that part. They just see the part where some person gets famous very quickly. While it is true that Frank became pretty famous over the course of a few days and that Peach Scone was his big break, everything that led up to that was years of hard work, persistence, and dedication to his craft.
You were grinding for a while. Like,
Yeah.
how long before you actually started to before people started to really f with it?
Probably like 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, probably 4 years.
Whether you love him or hate him, this kid put in the work. The music of Hobo Johnson is almost impossible to describe to someone who's never heard his work before, because he's kind of a rapper sometimes, but also plays guitar, and will kind of do this yelling thing that's reminiscent of spoken word or slam poetry. Frank's sound can best be described as this. Imagine Brian Sella of the Front Bottoms doing all of the singing for 21 Pilots, and that's the closest you can get to knowing what he sounds like without actually hearing his music. But even that comparison doesn't accurately convey how different, strange, and oddly original his sound is. One thing that really helped push this video further and further out into the world in such a short time is that it's kind of a confusing video, as in people didn't really know what they were watching. It's like shock value in a way. When I first laid my eyes upon the Peach Scone video, my thoughts were, what am I watching? Is this meant to be taken seriously? And at what point does the song actually start? Because as previously mentioned, Frank's delivery is bizarre. He opens the video with this spiel describing what's going on, reveals a little bit about himself and his friends before saying,
I don't care about rules.
And then goes into the actual song. But what makes it confusing for a first-time listener is that his flow and cadence doesn't change too much or hardly at all from the spiel at the beginning to the actual song. But once it really starts going, he does change the inflection in his voice throughout the track and yells the chorus passionately at the top of his lungs.
And I love the thought of being with you. Or maybe it's the thought of not being so alone.
But watching the video for the first time, you don't know any of this, and are left feeling confused and bewildered by the time it's over. And there's only one way to alleviate all of that confusion and curiosity, and that's by watching the video again, and maybe even a few more times after that. And that's not even going into the weirdest and most controversial part of the song, the lyrics.
And it's like, dude, if you wrote any of his lyrics out like in red crayon on a note and folded it up and put it into a girl's locker, she could probably take those lyrics and bring them to a police station and get you arrested.
When this song and video came out last year, it was fraught with a surprising amount of backlash towards Frank. I remember going on Twitter after watching the video to see what people were saying, and a shocking amount of people were passionately angry. I specifically recall this one guy saying that he wanted to track him down and kick his butt. I also recall a number of people stating that he somehow dislikes or is disrespectful towards women because of this track. To give you more context, here's what Peach Scone is about from the man himself.
This song is basically about like me
like falling in love with someone who I can't be in love with.
Looking back, I'm not exactly sure what it was that made people so angry about the subject matter and lyrical content of this song, but if I had to guess, I'd say it comes from a place of misunderstanding. I think a large group of people were under the impression that he liked this girl who was dating someone, and he was going to try to help himself to her despite her being in a relationship. And the line that most likely confused people and led them to believe that Hobo was saying something that he wasn't was this.
We should go get a cup of coffee, and I'll act friendly. And I won't pull any stunts, but I'm a freaking stunt puller from birth.
But according to Frank, this is what those lines actually mean to him.
We should go get a freaking cup of coffee, and I'll act friendly. And I won't pull any stunts, but I'm a freaking stunt puller from birth. I think a lot of people have been in that moment where they're about to like do some crazy shit or ask someone something crazy, and then right as you get to the moment, you just like falter completely.
The lyrics combined with his interesting delivery accompanied by his facial expressions make for a really unsettling song and video. And that's not meant to be taken in a negative way, that's just genuinely the feeling I get when I see this video and hear the song. It makes my skin crawl and I honestly love it. And that right there is a very key reason as to why the video blew up. I happen to really love Hobo Johnson and there happen to be people that really don't like him. And it seems like you either really enjoy him or don't, making him a pretty polarizing figure, which really worked to his advantage when this video came out. As soon as you finish the video for the first time, you instinctively want to talk about it with someone because it struck a chord with you in a very positive or negative way, or at the very least you found it interesting or weird. For Frank, this translated to thousands of comments, shares, and lots of exposure via word of mouth. His polarization was able to stir up a really big conversation about him and that song and video. Many people had a lot of really nice and really mean things to say, but naturally the ones who had positive things to say will become fans and you'll stay on their radar as an artist, and they'll most likely check out whatever you put out next. On top of Peach Scone having the element of shock value, unorthodox delivery, and unsettling lyrics, I believe there's another factor that helped propel this song out to the masses, and that is Frank's personality.
Oh my god. Why would they say that?
The thing that really makes him stand out is number one, that he's unwilling to filter himself in any manner, and number two, you can tell he's being 100% himself. There's no part of me that feels like this dude is putting on an act of any sort. Everything about him feels extremely authentic and true to who he is. His lyrics may be over the top, but the way he acts in interviews and carries himself feels so real. He's unapologetically himself and doesn't censor his thoughts that he puts out into the world. Some may say that's cringy, but I truly believe that some people saw a little bit of themselves in Peach Scone, in the sense that either consciously or subconsciously they thought to themselves, wow, I wish I could be that vulnerable, true to myself, and put out my unfiltered thoughts into the world in an artistic fashion without fear in the way that Hobo Johnson does. Through this, he's been able to attract the perfect fan base that feels that way, and you can tell that he already has some ride or die fans very early on in his career. This girl in the Q&A video is beyond enamored by Frank, and I think that's really cool. Again, some people may say that's cringy, but as a young person, it's a really big deal when you find someone that you feel truly gets you. And for a lot of young people, Frank is that guy. And I don't really see anything wrong with that. I find it highly respectable that he's not obsessed with the idea of fame. He doesn't really care about the rock star lifestyle, he just wants to make music. It's cool that at a young age, Frank has already discovered what makes him happy, and that is making music. He's smart enough to know that the rock star life isn't all it's cracked up to be, and at the end of the day, doing what makes you happy and fulfilled is so much better than partying every night in a random hotel and getting with random girls. Being happy and doing what you love is what will benefit you more in the long term in life, and I hope Frank's younger fans, as well as upcoming artists, can pick up on some of these things he's discovered early on in his career and use that little bit of wisdom to their advantage. He's even said that he felt like his music video for Typical Story was a little too Hollywood and overproduced, and that he'd rather do something a little bit smaller, more relatable, and DIY in the future. It's really refreshing to see a rising artist not feel pressure to go the big budget route and just do what they want to do and not care what other people think, because at the end of the day, Frank is doing this for him, not us. I think Hobo Johnson will be around for a long time. I believe he'll stay true to himself, evolve his sound in ways that he sees fit, and will become a mainstay in the world of music. His smile and positive energy are contagious. I've never seen him be overtly negative towards someone or something, and that's an outstanding way to live. He's a very easy person to like and truly has the complete package as an artist. My guess is that in the next 3 to 5 years, he'll have a hit song on the radio. That's not based off any facts or figures or anything like that, just a feeling I have. I love Hobo Johnson, his music, his personality, and his undeniable charisma. Frank, I wish you a prosperous, fruitful career as an artist. I hope you stay happy and keep doing what you love. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day.